Good morning, Armor Down. Welcome to Friday. Hope you slept well last night. I slept well last night, but the dream I had right before the alarm went off is part of what is driving today's topic. And then also let me just say that I'm going to take next week off of streaming. I'm going to take a week off, so there will be no live streaming to next week. All right. So just keep that in mind. If you come back on and you're looking for me next week, I'll be taking a week off. So today's topic is it's the roundup of this past month. It's all the work that we've done this past month, honoring the fight and supporting the healing. So for the first 2 weeks of this month, we really talked about honoring the fight. And the basic element of honoring the fight is acknowledging the fact that there are literal parts of us, parts of our anatomy, parts of our energetic underpinnings, parts of our fundamental understandings of our human spirit that are organized around survival and fighting for our survival. It's called the sympathetic nervous system. It's a whole system that's geared towards your ability to survive. And that system goes into high gear when there's threat. And one of the challenges that we face, especially as a culture that really champions the fact that we're fighters, is that the COVID pandemic isn't something you can really fight against. It's something that you can endure. And so while we fight COVID, it's hard to say we're fighting COVID by staying at home. We are, but it doesn't kind of compute. To fight something is to get out there and beat the hell out of it, right? So we're doing that, but most of us aren't. It's a tiny percentage of us that are actually fighting COVID, and they're fighting to keep people alive who've been infected with the virus. So it's a tricky kind of thing in our culture to be managing this pandemic. Nonetheless, we honor the fight when we honor the fact that there are parts of us that are really working hard to keep us safe. So we honor that by paying attention to it, by giving it respect, by supporting all the aspects and expressions of it in our culture and in our society. And Armor Down has attempted to do that by interviewing two people on the front lines. First is Nico Gonzalez, who is a trauma nurse. And then the next is Raul Narang, who is a surgeon. So we honored those two warriors on the front lines against COVID. And in doing so, we honor ourselves. When we bring honor to someone else, we're acknowledging the fact that that's within us. We recognize that we admire in ourselves with people who actually do it. So we've honored them in hopes of kind of bringing more attention to honoring the fight within us. And we're still in the fight. You know, COVID's not over yet. So we've got a ways to go, but I think, you know, with the new understanding of how COVID operates, we're better off than we were for sure. The next piece is to support healing. Now, while most Americans are probably aware of the fight or flight response, there's less attention given to the rest and relaxation response, the feed and breed response, the part of what's called the parasympathetic side of your nervous system, the other side of the coin, that takes care of our bodies after we've beaten it up, and helps us fall asleep. And it's the part of our body the part of our system that shows up when we feel love and kindness and we feel connected to each other. That's the parasympathetic